Time to tea dance.
I've been a really bad boy.
Come get your cup of TRU T as we spill it one cup at a time. All right, I'm from the Plantation house, and I'm feeling a little Mexico going on, and we're spilling the tea one cup at a time. Oh, wow, one cup at a time indeed. I'm Tyler, host of TRU T, and I got my co-host here.
Teacups in the house.
Teacups in the house, and we got a special friend beside us. Who are you?
I'm Nancy Desmond with P-Flag Tampa.
All right, we'll be getting to her in just a minute, and I got my bestie here.
Hi, Lindsay Carlton-Cline.
All right, and I got my other bestie here. Of course, you got to have a psychic as a bestie, right?
Hi, I'm Marilyn, Psychic Marilyn on Facebook.
Don't get too excited there.
Yeah,
How come every time I see you, you got a different hairdo? Is that something to do with the Psychic Network?
it is. Yes, yes.
Well,
I have to ask a question immediately,
Yeah.
though. I have to ask a question.
Oh.
I am wearing my Thanksgiving blouse. What is up with this, Tyler?
So-
who is that person underneath the table here?
that must be a little Chilico.
Oh, my God. You've got to explain this. Okay. By the way, you do know what a blouse is, don't you, Tyler?
So,
You know-
obviously,
Tyler, do you know
I've
what a
been
blouse
to...
is, Tyler? Tyler?
I just got back from
We
my
are just
cruise.
messing with him. What cruise were you on?
So I obviously
Cruising
went to...
7th Avenue is not a cruise.
So I just got back from Mexico.
Bradley's cruise?
Bradley's Cruise, yeah, Bradley's Cruise Bar, yeah. So I just got back from Mexico, and what an interesting place that was.
Isn't
because-
Mexico a town in Iowa?
So it was a 6-day cruise on Royal Caribbean, and next week we're going to be showing clips of a very
In a real
interesting.
boat you were on? A
real
real boat? They
and
let you on a real boat?
It was Allure of the Seas. It was one of the biggest
The
boats
who
that
the seas?
Royal Caribbean
The who
has.
the seas? The Lord?
the Lord of the Seas.
Lordy, lordy, lordy.
Anyways, let me take off this hat before it's
Woo,
way too
thank
heavy.
God.
Oh my God. So I was at Allure of the Seas, one of the biggest ships that Royal Caribbean has. And it was really cool. They had Central Park on there. They had the boardwalk. Really, really cool. But the interesting thing about all those places, like I went to Mexico and I went to Honduras, very, very interesting. I'd never thought about this, but during COVID, those places and those other countries, they depended on tourism, and so they were really, really hurting because there was no cruise ships. The cruise ships weren't going.
So was Tampa.
And speaking of cruise ships, it was very weird because the mask thing. So the theaters, did not have to wear masks, but like when you walked in the hallways, you had to wear masks, and you had to be vaccinated. You had to prove that you were vaccinated, and you had to have your test 24 hours prior to getting on the boat. Wow. So it was a lot of steps that had to be taken to go on the cruise. So if you're thinking about a cruise, be prepared.
How did you do all that?
I don't know.
I can't believe that. I think your
With a lot of
boyfriend,
help.
your husband had to help a lot.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's way too much
So-
for me to remember.
So, speaking of people that help you, obviously this is our Thanksgiving show, right before Thanksgiving.
Look at this feast
I
out
have
here.
to say, gobble gobble, and a special friends thank you, obviously, to my friends here, because let's start by giving thanks to you guys that are watching the show that have helped make TRU T successful, and thank you to my special friends that are here at the table because they have been along this whole journey of TRU T from the very, very beginning, and I'm so appreciative of that.
Marilyn, can you explain to us what's on the table here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you prepared all this for us.
Well, actually, Kevin and I, we were working really hard this morning. We made pita bread
Peter bread.
and hot buns.
Pick it up and show it.
We made pita bread and hot buns.
Hot buns, okay.
We got some nice mac and cheese. We know how everybody likes to, the creamiest. You stir that cheese,
Yeah.
We also, since we're in Ybor, we have, instead of a turkey, we have a chicken. Show that off. Teacup.
A Thanksgiving chicken! Yay!
And then Teacup, show them the coochie tray. We have one of those charcuterie trays.
Charcuterie tray up here, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the finest of cheese to go with it.
Yes. We like our sausages nice and cheesy weezy.
Cheesy weezy.
Easy Weezy.
And pride cake.
Oh, and pride cake, yes, and pride cake, of course, definitely pride cake.
You know, one year, this is a true story too, by the way, okay? I spent 3 hours trying to stuff that darn bird, okay? Finally, I got so mad I just killed the damn thing.
Boom. Thank you, Grandma. I think Grandma Pearl has told a couple of those stories about
yes,
the birds that she chases around the house.
We love Grandma Pearl.
We do. So, speaking about love, let's talk about something that we want to remember and cherish and love, and that's today's date and today's day, because today is actually International Trans Day, which is why we have PFLAG Nancy here to tell us a little bit about today and how special it is.
So this will be on a little bit somber note, but we'll get back to the in a minute. But it's actually called the Transgender Day of Remembrance, TDOR. We've had so many of them now that if you say TDOR, people know what you're talking about. And this is the day that we honor the transgender people who have been murdered since the last Transgender Day of Remembrance. And this year, we've exceeded, we now have 47 transgender people who have been murdered. The vast majority of them are people of color and women. So it actually hit home this year because you may have heard just 2 or 3 weeks ago now, Jenny DeLeon, whose picture is right here behind us, was found murdered in, I believe it's Seminole Heights area, the Sulphur Springs. And they don't know who did it. They still are asking for anybody who might know any suspicious activity that you may have seen that night. But it did come out that she was murdered. And Jenny was a member of PFLAG Tampa. So I know Jenny pretty well. This really, really hits home. She was an incredible person who just lit up the room when she came in. We had all the youth in PFLAG wanted to take selfies with her. They loved her. But when she first came to PFLAG, now this is, I want to say probably 8 years ago, she actually identified as male. And it became pretty clear that she was having housing issues. So 2 gay men who were members of our PFLAG group, took her in. She lived with them. And she really wanted to be independent. She started coming to PFLAG meetings wearing dresses, and she started identifying through PFLAG, which is not uncommon because it's a safe space. She started identifying as female and started living her life authentically as a female person. And living with the 2 men was a real challenge for all 3 of them because she was so independent. So eventually she set off on her own. And as you can imagine, things would not have been easy for Jenny, similar to the experiences that many, many transgender women of color have. Probably, and I don't know about Jenny, but there's a very good chance if she was living on the street, she was also doing survival sex, which is, they don't have a lot of options. They do not have a lot of options. It's hard for them to get jobs. It's hard for them to get food. It's hard for them to get housing. And this is one of the reasons why this Transgender Day of Remembrance came to being about 10 years ago now, a little bit more than 10 years ago, because we need to give visibility to this group of people that just most of their murders are not solved. And it's just, it's really, really, it's an incredible experience for these people. Jenny was living on the streets, and we don't know. We lost track of Jenny. I hate to say it, but we did lose track of Jenny. She didn't come to meetings anymore, so we didn't know where she was. And this is just, it's just a kind of a thing that happens to this community. So tonight is, we're having PFLAG Tampa is hosting our first event, the Transgender Day of Remembrance Vigil. Tonight, it's in Joe Chalura Park, which is the park that's right across the street from the county building. It's got the big pagoda there. Mm-hmm. It's at 6 o'clock. Please come out and help us honor these 47 people so far this year who have lost their lives to murder as a result of being transgender people.
Wow.
So, wow.
That was great, Nancy.
Thank you so much, Nancy, and thanks for all you do with PFLAG. I know you guys really do so much for the community and giving back, and so important to have people on a mission like you guys to really give back and help our community.
It's
so,
our pleasure. It's my family. It's
yes,
my
thank you
family,
so much. We really appreciate it. And speaking about appreciate, let's talk a little bit about appreciating also Thanksgiving, because we've got our great food here, and we've got some great things that have been happening in Ybor specifically, because we actually did some out and about stuff. And you actually went out and about for the Christmas tree lighting with us.
I was the Christmas tree.
So what is the latest, since you're going to be our roaring reporter, with that damn Christmas tree in Ybor City? I know a lot of gay action has happened over the years under that tree.
I know a lot of people worked really hard on lighting the Christmas tree this year, and a lot of people did some great performance and all that kind of stuff, but the tree is smaller than it ever has been before. It's now shoved right up against the wall with a fence around it so people can't come near it, okay? And when we went to the lighting of the Christmas tree, you and me were fabulous, our husbands were fabulous, but these people dressed like they're going to a funeral. What was going up with that? Did you notice it? Three-piece suits and dark and frowns, and oh my goodness, there was just nothing gay about the lighting of the Christmas tree this year, okay?
No.
It was a religious right Christmas tree lighting.
I had to agree with
It was, wow. And then the biggest laugh of all was when can I say his name? The man from the furniture company, let's just say that, who's the landlord there, stands up there and says, "This is the largest crowd Ybor City has seen in over a year. Please give me a break. There wasn't even 200 people there. Tampa Pride had 80,000. This guy needs to get his head out of the sand and realize that there's more to life than just whatever he lives in." Anyway, I'm not going to say more about that part, okay?
But we had a good time. We were the gayest ones out there for sure. You had a festive green sequence thing.
Damn it, I got to talk. I was so mad too, okay. Mark Carrie started the Christmas in Ybor City. He started by putting bows on the light poles over there. We did a fundraiser to get the trees going, all that kind of stuff, okay? So then they had the nerve to tell Carrie he couldn't be in the VIP section, like with the Christmas tree, and had to leave with a police escort. And Corey, my rough Carrie goes, "Well, yeah, I'll leave." And they came right over. "Oh, you need to get out of here. You're not important enough to be in here." What can I say?
Oh my God.
Lordy. As we say in the South, God bless their hearts.
Well, we did have somebody gay there. We had
me. And you.
No, we had Jane Castor was there. Last time I checked, I think she's gay. Isn't
She's gay, yeah.
Okay.
She was gay. Yeah.
So if you missed it, you weren't able to go to the tree lighting ceremony. That's one less gay we had there, obviously. Yeah. And so if you missed it, you can actually check it out next week.
One more little thing about that thing, okay, was that years ago there was a star on top of the Christmas tree, okay? That star was sold more times than the cross on the Church of Scientology. Okay.
Can we say bitter party of one over there?
But there was no star this year either, so I guess they don't have a star in the world they live in. So anyway,
if you missed it and you weren't there and you didn't get to see us, you can actually see us on next week's show on Out and About Tampa. We're going to be playing that. The visual of the Christmas tree lighting on the show.
The film you did was fantastic. And the reason was that nobody else could see the show. Because their show was sitting on the freaking sidewalk with people standing around them. And if you were in the first row, you couldn't see the show.
Yeah.
It was really,
you weren't media and you didn't have a camera.
The show was really, really cute. It was extremely cute. A lot of cute people on there. But nobody could see the show.
Nobody could see it. Yeah, it was kind of
But they had tasty cocktails at Bradley's afterwards.
And that's where we caught up with this one at. He was actually at Bradley's. So, yeah, so the lighting of the tree was interesting. And
Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus
and
was
Mr. and
there.
Mrs. Santa Claus was there.
That's right.
And their helper was there.
The same people who were on the show.
And they were on our show before.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
the show, yeah,
Larry was there, too.
And Larry was there. Yeah, Larry was there,
He hasn't been on
too.
the show yet.
No.
He doesn't really have a lot to say except for Superman.
Larry doesn't have to say a lot, honey.
All right. Speaking about saying a lot, Lindsay, what have you been up to? Nice to see you back in the hot seat.
Thanks, girl. I'm glad to be back in the hot seat. I'm working a lot in Sarasota and every weekend at the Club Rhino, or Purple Rhino, I should say.
Yeah.
And I'm back in the mix of things.
And if club owners are watching right now, Lindsay wants to work even more.
Well, sure, I can work as much as you want.
As
me
her
to.
manager is here, sitting here trying to promote her. No, I think that you would take a couple shows in Tampa, wouldn't you?
Of course I would.
Oh, good. Now I have my free ride to Tampa. I don't have to drive. I can just ride along with you when
That
you're
would
doing
be
a show.
that would be cute.
I think that would be a good little
We
thing.
can work it out.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about topics that are in the news that I find very, very interesting. Is the fact that we were just talking about this on the way here. So, do people know that people that are on HIV medication. Now, this is just what's the special word, legal word I want to use? Not specular.
I was cruising on Grindr right now. I have no idea what you're talking about. But have you seen your Grindr update? Look at that.
Oh my God. So this is just my opinion, but I have to say that for legal reasons. But a lot of people that are on HIV medications are not really susceptible to getting COVID, from what we understand and what we've been reading. And you read a little bit about that. You want to talk a little bit about that? That's why I put you on that assignment, and you hand me that, and I don't know what you're doing.
It's
Allegedly.
basically
Allegedly, that was the word.
HIV patients that are on the NRTI regimen. They're seeing that no patients receiving the TDF and the FTC was admitted to ICU nor died of this strain of influenza known as, we know the name, I can't say it, but it reduces the odds of getting different strains of this influenza, which has been a pandemic as of late. And so, this study was actually done in Spain. So if you guys want to look it up, you can Google it and see what we're talking about. And we found that very interesting because also to note the rollout and the approach of this pandemic was very much aligned with the rollout for the HIV medication. Also, Mr. Flippy Floppy had a hand in that, and I'm going to leave it at that. So, yeah. Mr. Flip Floppy, we know who he is.
Okay,
we don't trust Flip Floppy.
I want to give a shout out to our friends at TampaBayGay.com. Tampa Bay Gay is Tampa's friendly gay business directory that helps produce our show every week, and we want to thank our friends at TampaBayGay.com. You can check them out.
And we also want to thank Paul Sparks, who's watching right now.
Yeah,
Hi, Paul Sparks.
Yeah, I saw Paul.
Paul Sparks helped produce the absolutely huge, successful Tampa Pride Zula. This happened 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
And Nancy, who happened to win the Miss Tampa Pride pageant that night?
I didn't.
But who was the person that won?
So as PFLAG, at the beginning of PFLAG, we took in a homeless youth who was a budding drag queen. He lived with us for a year, practiced drag on our lanai for hours and hours. He competed and he won. Or she, Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Who lived with us for a year, yeah. So it's sort of my adopted son.
So when is the next Pride event that's coming up? What's the date, do you know?
Oh, yes, March 27th is official Pride this year. Oh, look at that ugly shirt. My God.
I know. I go from really, really gay to even more gayer. Can you imagine?
Can you put that poncho back on?
So March is the next Pride event?
March is the next Pride event, right.
Okay.
And also, excuse me.
You coughing up some cum ball?
She put liquor on top of these over here. They're really tasty. I can tell it.
Oh, my God.
No, anyway, but since we are going live today, as everybody up here knows that today at 3 o'clock down at Cityside, there's a memorial down there for a person that passed away, okay?
Oh, who passed away?
I can't remember his name.
Well, show up.
But
Show up and someone died.
Yes.
So, who died? Carrie, who died? He doesn't care. You want to go ask him who died? You're going to tell people who died? How can you set that up to say somebody died and not know? Oh my God!
There it goes.
Okay, so
Whoa!
we talked about someone that's
the door
dying.
just opened up
The
again.
door just opened again. A door
His
just
name was
opening.
Bill Griffin. I'm just teasing with you. It was Bill Griffin, who we also called the Fonz, okay? And Bill was loved by a lot of people, and he also worked at Hamburger Mary's for quite a while, too.
Okay.
So it's Bill Griffin. I'm just messing with you. That was creepy as all get out right now. That door
I think the Lord just came into your heart and gave you the name.
he did. Bill just went,
Oh my God! The door is opening and closing
closing.
where we're at.
Yes.
That is crazy. So I was gonna, as you're stuffing your mouth full of bread.
Yes.
Do we have our cards? We want to read a little card.
I do, yes.
Thanksgiving
These are
cards.
really good, by the way, Marilyn. I love that liquor you put on them.
Yeah, she made these special. That was the door that just shut.
Okay, so we're shuffling. Apparently, these spirits don't like the cake or the cards. Yeah.
So last week or 2 weeks ago, we actually had another psychic on the show, and it was interesting. He was sitting right beside that door, which opened right when he started talking about the spirits in the house.
Just like
And we were talking about death and funerals, and the door just opened and just closed.
I
There it goes
literally
again.
felt a cold draft come through, and that
Right when you grabbed
house.
the cards, too.
Yeah.
Closed. That was weird.
Yeah, so, all right, so I'm getting the Ace of Diamonds, which is the Ace of Rods. This denotes a lot of strong energy coming up, and the Ace of Clubs here is also known as the Ace of Swords. So somebody out here watching is focused primarily on changing their career path, and I believe that you've got a big rod, which is what this indicates. Maybe you're having trouble. Yeah, your rod's big and you're having trouble tucking it. So what?
I think that's somebody else I know.
Yeah, but that's what the cards are showing. Your coochie's so big it's hard to tuck it. So that's a man coochie. They gotta tuck it.
They must
So
be
you gotta
talking
wear
about you,
extra
Burley.
tight panties. Extra tight panties. Victoria's Secret has these stretchy, silky tight panties. I recommend those.
That's all on that card?
It is, yes.
Man.
It
That has
is.
to do with the career change.
So
So
that's very interesting.
I gotta ask you a question.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can already know.
Would you go to somebody's funeral if they didn't come to your own?
Depends if I go first.
I have to think about that. It's always so Tyler. Well, at least we know the people's names of the funerals before we tell people there's a funeral today. We'd like for you to go, but we don't know whose funeral it is, so please go. Listen, remember, today is National Trans Day. Cherish your trans because you never
tonight
know.
at 6 o'clock, be down to Trailer Park with
It's
Nancy.
actually Transgender Day of Remembrance. That's the official
Down
name.
at the trailer park.
No, Joe Cholula Park is where it's at.
But you said be down at the
Trailer
trailer
park.
park. Oh my God.
Joe Cholula Park.
Oh my God.
Yes, it
Wow.
National Day of Trans Day of Remembrance.
Yes, there you go.
All right. Listen, that's the end of the segment. We're out of time. You want to definitely check out next week's show because I hear there's going to be some big scandal that happens. And we're going to be actually showing some clips of some things that have been going on. And you're going to be going on a trip.
Yes, I'm going up north.
But we're going to be taking you there because we're going to be doing some remote stuff next week on the show while you're there freezing your taters off.
That's exactly right.
All right. In that case, we'll be raising our glasses. We'll see you next week when we're spilling the tea.
One cup at a time.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble.
This has been an Out and About media production and association with Tampa Bay's #1 gay website and business directory, TampaBayGay.com.